Jersey, this week I started over, with, the series one and session of all of the exercises. And it's been almost 6 months since I had been doing exercises. And even though I did the Happy Body with you a week ago and was doing some of the series three, with the homeworks, I was really struggling. And so I wanted to just start over. And so every morning this week, I've gotten up between 4 and 5 a.m. in order to be able to make all of the things I do. I'm a single mother and I'm a financial executive with an international not-for-profit. So I have people reporting to me in both around the world, and I have to be up late at night to talk to them or early in the morning. And so I have carved out time for myself every day this week, including this morning for Mother's Day. I've gotten up and done my 30 minutes of exercise, and I can't say all week I've been noticing less and less sore I am. My muscle starting to kind of come back a little bit to it. And so I'm just incredibly appreciative of the process and, the will to make it happen.
Your own will, right?
Yeah. And the memory to remember what it felt like when I was doing this for 2 years and knowing that I had the ability to do it.
Awesome. Thank you, Sherry. That's really good. Yes, yes. Congratulations. This is really good. Yeah. Wow. What an amazing thing, right? To appreciate yourself that you actually do that, right? That's a great energy, right?
It's really great. Yeah.
That was really impressive, Sherry. I loved hearing that.
It was beautiful. It was really.
Yeah. You do so much for so many other people, and you get to really mother yourself.
Correct.
On Mother's Day, it's great to feel like we're nurturing ourselves. One example, there were many examples that I'm generally feeling a wash of appreciation now every day for myself that I definitely was lacking before. And this week I worked out at 9 o'clock at night, which is not what I like to do. And I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to do it. I knew that I was going to be battling my fatalist, and it was, I did the workout so quickly, I looked like Charlie Chaplin getting beat up by an invisible man. I was like, I'm going to, this is good for me. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to feel good. And it did. I had surprising amount of energy. So that was one example that I appreciated, that I had to have that strong dialogue. And the fatalist in me can be really strong, can be really abusive and really bad. And so,
isn't it?
So it felt good to conquer that. Yeah. And the beginning of this week, I started out beating myself up over the events of that dog, and you guys really helped me process that. And I appreciate, and I did forgive myself. And that is not something I would normally have been able to do so quickly or so deeply and so thoroughly if it had not been for the support from everyone in the group, from the logical, philosophical, spiritual dialogue that we all shared together surrounding forgiveness. That was I very much appreciated myself after I forgave myself. So that was really big for me. So thank you.
So I started this process the week before with Jersey into the cave. And, my goal was my idea was I would join and learn more about the exercises, perfect the exercises, get that sort of thing. And then I joined this group because I really enjoyed the other group, and sort of this launched me into a completely different journey. Starting out with the forgiveness, and Amy, your role in that was very good. I had a very emotional week because I was sort of going back in time to a place where, some big event had happened, but I had never forgiven myself on that journey. And even though it's been 50 years, it's still there. and it sort of brought up emotional things that I had to sort of, and I sort of, anyways, I'm very appreciative of this fact that I understood that I had to forgive myself, and I was able to do that, and I was able to move on. I feel great as a result of that. So patience with myself, patience with Jersey, because I just wanted the exercises, Jersey. I just wanted to get going and learn how to do this. But,
Of course.
but by sitting back and waiting and listening, I went on a completely different journey. And so the patience, the forgiveness, ultimately personal growth, so very appreciative that I was able to take the time, have the time to do that, with a group. Has been very good.
I've been recently, because of this class, been trying to get more in the mindful state, like what is mindfulness? And I had a trainer, in fact, just this morning, come up with this word called, this term welcoming, or welcome mat. And I think that that's the perfect description of Happy Body, especially for me this week and throughout since we began. And what I mean by this is, we've talked about disappointment. We've talked about welcoming grief. We've talked about welcoming the demons. And this idea of us, putting out that mat or wherever we exercise. And it's really like this welcome mat that is bringing our whole selves, whatever our whole self in that moment, whatever it took to get ourselves to that moment, whatever we expect the next moment to be. We don't really have to think about that, because we're always in this welcoming state where we're acknowledging, we're honoring our feelings, we're honoring the pleasure, and just being open. And just like when you welcome a guest, you have no idea what perhaps might come or who might come, what state they're in. But if we can picture ourselves, and I really feel this way about Happy Body and the way that you and Aniela have always welcomed people. It's so thoughtful. It's exactly what this practice is. And I just want to honor like this beautiful welcome mat that the Happy Body is for me and for many others.
I would just add to what Eliane said about the toolkit, the mental toolkit. You use the word as mind style. So I feel that I can start understanding or being able to use the terminology mind style, because it gives a certain elasticity. Up till now, I've been so I appreciate myself for finding elasticity, because previously I did the Happy Body for close to 2 years, but I was just sore and actually quite stiff, although I'd made progress. And now I have discovered that it's not about being forceful, but it's being able to appreciate the micro progressions, listening to your body, and it's a part of lifestyle. It's a mind style. It's I would say, in fact, I use the word downside, but it's actually focusing on being efficient. So a failure is an opportunity to be more efficient, or to change my behavior to be more efficient. And efficiency is an evolution. So I appreciate myself for finding the nuances, appreciating the spaces between the thoughts. A small appreciation is that I've changed from running, and I now do sprints, and it's great.
So do you appreciate that you did that?
Yes, very much, and I love it. you feel powerful, and you don't. It's not exhausting. It's a good form of exercise. It's great.
So I appreciate seeing the fatalist at work saying no, and then the master saying yes. So I appreciate taking the time to be with the no voice and the resilience, you might say, to say yes to it. And of course, those are subtle voices. They occur without much fanfare, and they can be very quiet. So they're easy to just stop me in my tracks, strong enough to stop me in my tracks. So I think it's something of a breakthrough for me to be able to to have the space of another voice, or strength of another voice, or the space of another place that I can exist in, that says yes, so that it's not always just this, forget it, it's not going to happen, dead, just worry and complain and lament, is dead. But instead of that voice, there's the voice that says, oh, there's a possibility there. In fact, there might even be some success and joy. Why don't we just, quietly, steadily plan, make a plan, and start the actions and proceed with that. And I appreciate those latitudes in, I appreciate first the ability that I've gained through this class to hear that voice, and to the strength and some other capacity, the master voice, to say we don't have only that no is not the only choice. Yes is also a choice. So that's what I would say. I appreciate yes.
I really appreciate in myself that I've taken this time, because normally at this time of day, which is, between 5 and 6 in the morning, I've always regarded as solitary time. So it feels like a bit of a punt to be here with a lot of other people. And I really appreciate I've done that, because it's been incredibly rewarding, I must say. And I really actually appreciate how everyone has shared. It has been so helpful, and it's been wonderful to have this community. It is wonderful to have this community. And I really thank you, especially people who've shared when they've been very vulnerable and very open. It's just been amazing. So that's what I appreciate.
Hi, everyone. This is Jeannie from Los Altos. And just your last comment, Jersey, made me think of something I hadn't quite thought of before. And that is to appreciate the hard thing in front of you, in front of me, because it gives me the opportunity to hone the skill of making a hard choice. So before, I was thinking of, I wish this hard thing in front of me wasn't there, right?
Right.
But if I actually if I erase that as a goal, right? I always want to have the next hard thing in front of me all the time. And that gives me that opportunity to, I call it turning right instead of left. I turn right into it, and I can be benefited from that.